Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earning Title Podcast. Today, this podcast might save your life. About 8-9 days ago, maybe 10 days ago, I got a phone call from my brother-in-law, and he said, "Hey, did you hear about?" He named one of my friends. I said, "No." He said he's had something going on with his heart. I'm like, "Oh, that's not good." I'm like, "What is it?" He said, he told me his aorta ruptured, and being a paramedic, I know what that means, and that's usually not a survivable condition. So I obviously got extremely concerned. Made some phone calls, talked to some people at the hospital, and come to find out one of my best friends had a aortic dissection, which is not a rupture, but a tear. And it kind of shook me a little bit. Like, I am exposed to medical problems and emergencies all the time, but when it's someone that you love and it's someone that you care about, it really, it hits home. And so I, investigated. He ended up going in, had a 7-hour surgery. They put like a cage around his aorta. They ended up having to replace one of his coronary arteries. Major surgery. Went up to the ICU, and I'm talking to his wife and just kind of getting the story. And, he started off having chest pain, and that progressed, and he was able to get help, and he's okay. And he came home yesterday after, I think it was 10 days in the hospital. And it really sparked my, desire to share what I know. Because I'm very blessed to have this medical knowledge, and I realize not everybody does. And as a man, I want to give you a few things that you should actually worry about. I know we as men, we spend a lot of time taking care of other people, that we don't need help. I know I'm talking to many of you, but you don't like to go to the doctor. And I get it. I understand it. But man, there's a few times, and I'm gonna name 4 things. 2 of them are symptoms, and 2 of them are signs, and I'll talk about the difference between those, that you really, you can't afford to not pay attention. And so the first one was chest pain. My friend started having chest pain. Now, there's lots of reasons you can get chest pain that aren't emergencies. You can pull a muscle in your chest. You can have heartburn. You can, have a cold and just kind of feel weird. So I'm going to give you some indicators that maybe this is a little more concerning than it just heartburn or a chest cold. The one being, if the chest pain doesn't go away. So if you think you have a heartburn and indigestion, cool. Go take 2 Tums. Take 2 of them and wait. Give yourself 10 minutes. If it doesn't go away, it's probably not heartburn, right? Tums and acids, they fix heartburn. If it doesn't go away, you need to go to the hospital. If the chest pain feels anything where it's crushing, like it feels like an elephant standing on your chest, if it radiates down your arm, up into your neck, any of those conditions are something you should go get checked out. Now, sometimes you can have intermittent pain. Actually, the pain goes away. It's probably not getting better. It is not normal to have chest pain. The reason my friend is here today, the reason he came home from the hospital after spending, 4 or 5 days in the ICU and another 3 or 4 days in the regular unit, is because he recognized he was having a problem, and he got help, and he went to the hospital. If he's listening, I'm so thankful he did, right? But there's a lot of guys that don't do that. The chest pain is not going away. One of the things that can happen is you can have a dissected aorta, and that is really bad. On a scale of 1 to 10, that's like a 9 of bad. The only thing worse would be maybe getting shot in the heart like this. It's bad. But the common thing is a heart attack. And a lot of people get heart attack and cardiac arrest mixed up. Cardiac arrest is when your heart stops, and your heart can stop for a lot of reasons. If you stop breathing for long enough, your heart will stop. If your heart stops getting blood flow to it, it can stop. And that is what a heart attack is. A heart attack is, for some reason, whether it's a clot or an aneurysm, blood stops getting to the muscle in your heart, and it starts to die. But before it dies, it starts to get injured. So you might hear heart attacks called myocardial infarctions, which is just a big word that means tissue death. And there's 2 things you can have. You can have ischemia, which is tissue damage, and damage can be repaired. But if you have infarction, which is death, that is tissue that will not grow back. It doesn't get better, and it dies and doesn't work. one of the dangers that we have as men is that we put things off and put things off. So you're having some chest pain, you're having some weird feelings, and just putting it off. If you get to the point where you're having tissue death in your heart, you lose what's called cardiac function, which is really important for doing things that are fun. Most things in life require some level of cardiac function. Playing with your kids, having sex with your wife, walking up and down the stairs without being out of breath, going hunting, playing golf. You need the full cardiac output. When you have tissue death, you lose cardiac output and you lose the ability to kind of do anything above just maintaining. So go get checked out. Irregular heartbeat, any of that stuff, it's fixable. They can find the problem with just an EKG, just sticking some stickers on your chest and looking at it and go, oh, this might be a problem. Maybe you need an x-ray. Another guy I worked with, aortic aneurysm, same thing as my buddy had, but it didn't rip. They found it on an EKG, took an x-ray, were able to put a cage around it, and he's okay. He's now fighting fires. He's able to live a normal life because he went and got checked out. Guys, please go get checked out if you're having chest pain. Worst case scenario, right? Or best case scenario, you go in, it's nothing. It was heartburn. They do some tests, they run some labs, they draw some blood. You're at the hospital for 4 to 12 hours and you go home. That's it. You go home. Maybe you are going to have a problem, but it's not actually happening right now. And there's some blockage and they find it and they go do a cardiac cath, which basically is like a rotor-rooter. They stick something into your artery in your leg or maybe in your wrist. They go into your heart. They clean out the problem. They put a stent in so it doesn't happen anymore and you're fine. You skipped the heart attack. You skipped the pain. You skipped all those problems and they fixed it. It's amazing. Technology is so amazing, but you have to give the doctor some time. If you wait until you're having the problem and you go from tissue damage to tissue death, it can truly affect your life forever. And you'll never overcome that. And you'll never be whole. I want you to be whole. I want you to live a good, awesome life where you're working out and enjoying yourself and going on vacations. So go get checked out. That's the first one. The second one is if you're having stroke-like symptoms. And this is a really important one. And really, a stroke, probably I think it would be better if we called it a brain attack. So we have heart attack, a stroke attack, or a brain attack is the same problem. A part of your brain is not getting oxygen, whether there's an aneurysm, something burst, or there's a blockage like a clot. And the three things we look for as paramedics when we are analyzing whether someone is having stroke-like symptoms is three things. And they're really easy to do. I'm going to teach you how to be a paramedic. So if you or someone you love is having stroke-like symptoms, they're going to be, give me a big toothy smile. So you get a nice big smile like that. If one side of their face droops, assume they're having a stroke and they need to go to the hospital. Have them say simple words like ball, tree, flag. If they go blah, 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 they talk like they're got rocks in their mouth or marbles in their mouth or maybe almost like they're intoxicated, assume they're having a stroke. Have them stick their hands out straight in front of them and close their eyes. If one arm drifts, they can't keep it up, assume they're having a stroke. Now a heart attack, usually it's not come and go. It can be come and go, but strokes, many times they'll have called mini strokes where there's a little bit of blockage. Your brain stops working in that area for a little while and then the blockage clears and it comes back up. It's kind of like the check engine light in your car. If you know anything about cars, it's not fixing itself just because the light went off, right? The problem is still there. Your brain is telling you something. Hey, listen, we're having a problem. We're having a problem. We're having a problem. And the TIAs or trans-ischemic attacks, the mini strokes, is little warning signs. Listen to them. One of my best friends, he had a family member who was having these. He lost the ability to speak clearly, and he's like, I'm just fine. I'm fine. No big deal. I'm okay. He wasn't. He passed away with paramedics, trying to encourage him. I once went on a call for a gentleman, and we'd already been there once early in the day, and he was having stroke-like symptoms that were coming and going. He didn't want to go to the hospital, checked his vital signs. They weren't good, but we can't kidnap people. So we said, okay, call us back if something changes. It changed. Now he's having difficulty speaking, difficulty moving one of his limbs. And as men, we're proud, I understand this toughness, this tough guy. I want to take care of the world. I'm going to do all these things. And I was the senior guy in the scene. I was the officer on the scene. So my paramedics, they're doing their thing and I'm just kind of standing back and they're pleading with this guy. Sir, you need to go. His wife is there. I think he had a brother and a cousin. They're like, man, you need to go to the hospital. He's like, I'm not going. You can't take me. I'm saying I'm not going. Just leave me alone. I'm not going. We're watching his face droop. We're watching his arm not be able to work. And all the guys out of passion and for helping, wanting to do good for this guy, they're really just, sir, we want to take you. You're having a stroke. We're almost 100% sure. I'm not going. And finally, I needed to use my little bit of senior firefighting skills. I realized what was going on. I said, sir, listen, I am in charge of all these guys and they will not take you to the hospital. I'm telling you right now, me and you are going to have a conversation. And if you tell me no, I will tell them no and they will stop asking you. But this is really important. Right now, it seems like you are having a stroke. And if you don't do anything, you're going to start losing the ability to do certain things. And I started naming them like, sir, you're not going to be able to wipe your own butt. Sir, you're not going to be able to have sex with your wife. You're not going to be able to speak clearly. You might not be able to use your right arm or right leg. Which one of these are you willing to give up just by not going to get checked out? And you can say no. And if you say no, we will let you sign this piece of paper and we will leave you alone. And the guy, you could see the barriers go down. He just wanted to be listened to, and we weren't doing that. And so when I was able to break it down, he decided to go, and he ended up getting treatment. One of the really cool things is there are clot busters now. So if it's a clot in your brain, they can give you a drug that opens it up and then reperfuses the part of your brain, and you get full function back. But just like your heart, if you wait too long, the time that you wait is memory, is function. Go get checked out. If you have a family member that is having these problems, really, they're not being logical always when they're having these problems because their brain is literally not getting enough oxygen. So you really need to go and encourage them to get the help they need. So stroke is one. Stroke-like symptoms, you have to go get checked out. Time is brain. Chest pain, time is heart muscle, is cardiac function. You got to go get these things checked out. Just suck up your pride. If you don't want to go by ambulance, okay, cool. Go by a normal vehicle, but somehow you need to get to the hospital. Please save your own life. Please go to the hospital. Those things are emergencies, right? Those are something that like you just need to take care of right now. The other two things are things that I want you to monitor. So those would be symptoms. A symptom is something you express. A sign is like a vital sign, your pulse, your respiratory rate, your pulse ox. These are two signs that you need to monitor on a consistent basis, and you have to take these seriously because they have extended negative consequences. One of them is high blood pressure. My one friend who had the aortic aneurysm that didn't rupture, he had high blood pressure for 10 or 15 years and didn't take care of it, and he knew it. And the other one is high blood sugar. There's a lot of research that is starting to link high blood sugar levels, consistently high blood sugar levels with dementia, with inflammation, which causes heart problems. You need to consistently get your blood sugar checked and then take precautions, take actions to fix that, which really is not hard. It's challenging. I should say it's simple, but it's challenging, is to live a healthy lifestyle. Decrease processed foods, which I don't want to preach to you because you know this stuff, but if you're grossly overweight, there's a really good chance you're not producing enough insulin. You might not technically be into type 2 diabetes, but you're really, really close. And those high blood sugar levels will affect your life negatively, and you're not going to have the life you want. You might totally plan on retiring financially, but not healthy. And that goes same thing with blood pressure. You need to control your blood pressure, even if it means being on medication. And I hate taking medication. Like I'm a total anti-medication person, right? I don't take Motrin unless I absolutely have to. Like I'm not that guy. But until you can get your health under control, which is probably take care of most of your problems, you can't have that pressure going too high. Imagine just squeezing a water balloon and just holding on to it for years and years and years. You're weakening those vessels. Every time you squeeze it, you're weakening them. And eventually something ruptures. If it ruptures in your brain, you have a stroke. If it ruptures in your aorta, you have a heart attack or cardiac arrest. You have to take these things serious. It's a chronic problem. It's not a kill you right now. It's a kill you 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. But please, go get help. Chest pain, go to the hospital right now. Stroke-like symptoms, which are facial droop, arm drop, or difficulty speaking. Any one of those, even if they go away, you might go away and you feel totally fine. Go get help. If you have high blood sugar, fix it. If you have high blood pressure, fix it. it's important. I want you to be around. I want you to be around for your family. I want you to be around to do great things. I want you to be around to listen to my podcast. Please don't hesitate. And if someone in your family is having those, by all means, just be an absolute jerk. Like, be rude, be inconsiderate, just make them go. Do not let them like talk you away from just making this stuff happen. Make it happen. Please, please, please. I'm begging you. I want to save your life. I need more listeners. Speaking of needing more listeners, I have a speech. I have a keynote presentation that I have put together. It's on, manliness and what I think every man needs to do to live a fulfilling life. I'd like to give that keynote to your men's ministry, your men's group, or your group in general. I guess it doesn't have to be men. And I don't want to make any money on it. I just want to test it out. If that is you, please reach out to me. My email is danny@dannydumas.com. I'd love to have a back and forth. We can see how we can make this work. Again, I appreciate you listening. And as always, my name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Earn Your Title podcast, and I will talk to you later.